Tigers, Bulldogs, Saints. Welcome to DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance. Don't say the weather will ever get this crew down. We are virtual, but we are live this morning. Tom Duggan alongside Kelly, Casey, Coach. Good morning, everybody. How you enjoying the snow?
Loving it.
Well, you were out working in it yesterday, Kelly.
I know, but I still love it.
Casey's out working in it today, although he's inside working. So Casey decided to open up the bank and go to work today. You getting bored sitting at home, Casey?
Yeah. Something like that.
One word answer. That's all we need to know. Yeah. Well, Chris, I know you're happy too. You got a snow day from school, and you've been out playing in the snow.
No. Now, Connor did go out yesterday, and he built a snowman for Asher. We still have Asher with us. I checked with Asher to see if he wanted to come on the air, and no, he's not quite ready, and Connor's definitely not for that. But yeah, they got out and built a snowman and had some fun with that. 6 to 8 inches. We're expecting to miss all of next week, and teachers hate that. That's not going to happen.
Now, I don't know about y'all. I didn't get no 6 to 8 inches. We got about 2 here, and that's about it. So, I'm starting to think there is something to this weatherman / retail outlets coming together here to,
Well,
I don't know.
Didn't the guy from the Weather Channel come down to Nashville for this?
Oh, yeah, for this blizzard. Yeah. Kelly, what were you saying?
We did get quite a bit of snow in Alexandria. It just kind of it melted about midday yesterday. What first came down kind of melted, and then it was snowing last night when I went to bed at 10 o'clock here.
I peeked outside a little while ago, and it looks like it's all stopped. The road's not terrible, but certainly we didn't want to take the chance of anybody being on the road today. And if you are going to be out today, do be careful, because it is messy, and I'm sure some spots are a lot worse than others for sure. So, all right, y'all, we got a big show today. As always, as far as our guests, we've had to cut down our guest list just a little bit. But our next segment, we will talk to Rayanna Chapman, the head coach of the DeKalb West Lady Bulldogs, as they got their first win of the season against Tennessee Heat this past Monday night. Kelly's got a big smile, and I was tickled to death. Rayanna had sent me the stat. I don't think the game was even over. She had sent the stats on to us, and I was excited for them. So, Kelly, I know those girls are tickled to death to have that first win under their belt.
They were so excited. They almost, I wouldn't say they didn't know how to act. They didn't know how to. They didn't know how to react. They didn't act any differently. They were just like, "Oh, we won. It wasn't
right.
a lot," because they've been in so many games and just couldn't score. And shots were falling for Kaylee on Monday night. So it was a good time.
Kaylee Womack with 15 points in that game, and just so happy. And I know Rayanna is excited to come on and talk with us. We were hoping to have, today the plan was we were going to be at DeKalb Middle School for a full day of events with the show and a basketball game. But thank you, Mother Nature. That's been canceled or postponed, we'll say. Tuesday night, the Saints and Lady Saints will take on Stone Memorial, and we are planning to be there with the coverage here on the DC Blitz Network. And Casey, I'll throw this to you. You've seen the Saints this week, and one thing Matt Quarles has pointed out, after about 26 days off, it's almost like starting over for them, particularly offensively. Both of their games this week was a bit of a struggle to put the ball in the basket, and I guess obviously the rust is there from such a long layoff due to the holiday break.
Oh, yeah, that rust is all over them right now. Both teams have not shot the ball well this week. The Saints were able to get a win, a revenge win, really, against Prescott on, I guess that was Tuesday, which Prescott had beaten them earlier in the season. It was one of those games where they couldn't finish and were up in the fourth quarter and come back and beat them. But the Saints, took care of business against them Tuesday night, beating them by 9. It was just a really ugly game, though. Even then, I think the Saints had 31 points in that game and won by 9. So if that tells you anything, that's kind of – it was foretelling to see that, because when Thursday night rolled around – actually, that was Wednesday night. They turned around and went to Cookeville Thursday night and played all good up there. And goodness gracious, they could not – buy a bucket up there that night. In fact, they went 10 for 49 shooting from the field.
Wow.
In many games that way. I think they had 2 points in the first quarter total, and that was 2 foul shots. So it was a rough outing. But I mean, hey, that's what happens when you take a month off. It's like starting over again for a little bit, and you've got to have time to knock that rust back off for yourself.
Well, you certainly do. And I think from a defensive point of view, Coach Quarles was pretty happy about the way they looked, particularly against Prescott. They only gave up the 22 points in that game. Chris, you want to chime in on this?
Yeah, I did. We talk about the big layover, 26 days between games or whatever. How much, Casey, did they practice during that Christmas break and everything?
They practiced as much as they were allowed to practice. You have to have some layoff, I guess. I don't know if it's a rule or if that was a school rule or what. But they practiced every week at least once. Okay. And, of course, the last couple weeks coming back in, they practiced more than that. But, it's just not the same. You're playing your guys that know all your plays. And when you can't go out and play somebody that don't know what you're going to do, it makes a big difference.
Well, and we even
Kelly, let me jump over to yeah, go ahead, because I wanted to get your take on that as well, because you dealt with some of that long layoff as well.
We were the same way. Monday night we shot okay. Tuesday night we tried every way we could to lose a game that we won by 8 or 10 at their place, and we should have won by much more. The kids were just out of sync. But I was going to say, if you watched, you four have been watching the college football. I've been watching it. They look terrible because I mean, like last night, Texas dropped, I don't know how many that hit them in the hands. And it's because, and the guy even said they're out of practice. And the same for kids. If you're not doing it all the time. I was in the same boat as Matt. We were playing really good going into Christmas break. We were all sick, but we were playing really well. And now it's kind of starting all over. But everybody else seems to be in the same boat too.
I want to brag on somebody because Casey won't. But in the game against Prescott earlier this week, Reed Midget had a double-double. I don't know how many that is for him this year, but 12 points. And get this, y'all, 17 rebounds for Reed Midget in the game against Prescott. Now, Casey, you got to brag on him a little bit. 17 rebounds, I mean, that's getting up there.
He needs to stick to rebounding.
Well, now 12 points ain't nothing to sneeze at in a junior high game either.
He wasn't. Was he padding his stats by shooting, rebound?
Yes. A lot of that was his own rebounds. You're exactly right. So,
oh, man.
I will say this. I knew we were in trouble when Reed was the one that hit the 2 foul shots in the first quarter of that game. I thought the world might be ending. Can't hit a shot, but when he hits a free throw, something's wrong. I don't know.
Snowmageddon. Well, I want to talk about the high school as well. They played on Tuesday night and Turnaround played on Thursday night in their district opener. I had a chance to see the game on Tuesday night. Smith County beats the Lady Tigers 60-45. For the Lady Tigers, that game, they actually got down 25 going into the fourth, and all night long, they just kept coming back, scrapping, hustling. They stayed with it. That Smith County team's a pretty darn good team. Chloe Collins, for them, she had 22, I think, in that basketball game. She's their big post presence and just somebody that was a tough matchup for DeKalb County. But you know what? Those girls, they didn't give up even when they got down 25. They kept on playing. And, I think it's been good for the boys and the girls that they did play some through the holiday break. especially the Tigers. They look sharp coming out there against Smith County on Tuesday night. They get the 50-43 win, and Jordan Parker has a big night. He had 19 points. I think he was 12 of 14 from the free throw line there in that fourth quarter. Chris, as we talked about all the rust that some of these other teams have had, for the Tigers especially, I think it's really helped them. They played well in the two tournaments they had, and then they come back with a really good showing against Smith County.
Yeah, and it's a Smith County team that I think is on the rise. They went to Cannon County earlier in the year, and I think boys and girls both for Smith County got beat by like 20. It was really bad. And then Cannon County goes over to Smith County, and Smith County's boys got a narrow win, and their girls, I think, beat the Lady Lions quite handily. So I think it's a Smith County team that's getting better as the season progresses. So looking at that DeKalb County win for their boys was really good. And I think, I heard Kendall Parker talking about JP and how he's getting into his rhythm and in his scoring mode for the Tigers.
Yeah, you get JP playing the way he's capable of, and you're seeing the scoring totals especially. That leaves out all the other intangibles that he does, but he played a really well-rounded game. I'll get all that out in a second. Against Smith County, Dallas Kirby, I tell you what, he turned his intensity up a notch in the second half. He had some big rebounds, a big put back late in that game. You get Dallas also playing, and, you're going to get John Hendricks is going to do what John Hendricks does. He's a great shooter. I like this Tiger team. They're scrappy. They're full of energy. Chris, you know a lot of these kids. We know them, and they're just exciting to watch. And I think when it all comes together, and you want it to do it in tournament time, but I think they've got a chance to make some noise.
The missing ingredient, Tom, if you'll go back a week or two, JP and Dallas Kirby were both on our show.
Yeah, that's it.
And then we turn around and have a good game. So if you want to have a good game, Reed, come on back.
Reverse Madden curse.
Reverse Madden curse, yeah. Just come on the show and that'll take care of everything. They did go to Sparta for the district opener on Thursday night. That White County girls team is among the favorites to win Class 3A this year. They just DeKalb County had a rough time with them, 67-22. Boys game was quite competitive. I think when you look at the boys side of the district, it may be Upperman and everybody else, but I think everybody else might be really jockeying for position because I think, you got some pretty balanced teams there. Once you get past that Upperman team, Upperman beat Stone Memorial by 17, and I think some might argue with Cade Caps that Stone Memorial may be the second best team in the district. I don't know that anybody beats Upperman, and Casey, you've seen some of these kids through the years. That Upperman team's for real.
Man, that Ty Cobb kid, I don't like. Memphis needs to call him right now. Go ahead and get him signed up down there so he stays in state. I don't know. I watched some highlights of him from this game that he played this week. Lord have mercy, he's tough to guard. And then that whole Upperman team they're always so athletic anyway. And you add in someone who is special above even their normal special, they're going to be tough to play with this year.
And you always know with them, they're well coached. Bobby McWilliams and, of course, his wife Dana for the girls, they're always well coached. And Kelly, that's somebody, I guess they were their coaching, or at least Dana was back even when you played. I mean, there's some longevity close. Maybe was that a little before they started?
Gosh, that was like 40 years ago, wasn't it?
We didn't actually play Upperman, so I'm not sure. I know when I started refereeing, she was there, and I've been teaching for 21 years, and that's how long that's when I started refereeing. So she's been there for at least 21 years.
Did you ever tee her up?
No, but I was in the game where they threw her husband out.
Oh, my.
I didn't do it. I don't give technicals. I don't listen to people. You know me, I teach 400 kids every day. I can ignore unwanted noise at ease.
Oh, I'll tell you what, but again, there was a competitive game with White County, and I'm just excited to see how the boys district plays out. Girls, Upperman's right back. They're going to be good again. White County looks great. I was surprised to see Cumberland County beat Livingston. So Cumberland County, they've been pretty good. I know they had Emery Baragona, who was a tremendous player, but she's moved on. But they've got a new coach in place, and they're still quite competitive. And needless to say, the girls in this region are just fantastic. So that'll be fun to watch as always. All right, let's squeeze a break in here. Yeah,
I'm going to say here for a second. I want to come back with Kelly, and we talked about this earlier. And not to be disheartening or whatever, but when a girls team like ours got beat so badly, we've talked about how you can't really slow the game down because of maybe ball handlers. What are some things that we could have done as a team to keep the score a little bit closer?
Well, I'm not exactly sure I'm sure that Upperman White County was shooting the three. Which seems to be the thing that everybody wants to do. And they were in their home gym, so they're going to shoot well there. You could change your defense up and try to, if there's a score, like if there was a score, let's say Casey's he's already put up 10 points. I'm going to put somebody in his face. And everybody else is going to beat me, but it's not going to be, I don't know who their leading scorer is. I know I was talking to Coach Randolph the other day, and he was talking about the boys have been working on a different defense to show some different things. You really just have to change your defense, and you have to just start keying and making. I mean, it's hard if you've got 5 girls or 6 girls that can just shoot lights out. But normally there's one girl that the offense runs through, and you have to take your best player and you have to just try to shut that person down is the best thing I do. Sometimes it's the point guard. Sometimes it's a shooting guard. But if you take one person away, the other 4 have to pick up and have to know how to play off the ball. I can remember when I was in school, Brooke Armstead over at Gordonsville was really good. She gets hurt in the state tournament and they fall completely apart. They had 4 other girls that could play, but everything ran through her, and everything was based on her touching the ball and giving, drawing defense to her and dishing, or her coming off the screen. That's what you have to do in girls basketball. You have to learn to take away one player to make them do something different.
And it's tough when you're going up against some of these teams, and if you're young or inexperienced, or the talent just don't match up. Man, it's hard. And a team like Upperman, they get after you, they press, they turn the ball over, and ball handling. It's essential, and it's very difficult to get some of these teams that really are just that good defensively. All right, we're going to get a break in. Rayanna Chapman, she's waiting in queue. She's going to join us, and let's talk some Lady Bulldog victorious basketball when we come back. We're going to do, if we get some viewer questions, and we posted on Facebook, shoot us some questions. Let's do a Q&A this morning. We're a little short on guests, so we can have some fun with that. We'll get Casey riled up. Give him some questions, and we'll have some fun with that here a little bit later. When we come back, this is DC Blitz, and we're presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
Teamwork, accountability, honesty, showing respect, dependability. These are all qualities that I began learning as an athlete growing up in DeKalb County. Hi, this is Tennessee assistant golf coach Payne Denman. Whenever you're looking for a teammate that has your back, look no farther than my friend Grant James and the team at DeKalb County Insurance. They can help out with all your business, auto, home, life, or Medicare insurance needs. Give them a call today at 615-597-0660 or visit them at www.decalbinsurance.net. Tell them I sent you, and as always, go Vols.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
As first-time home buyers, navigating the real estate market can be both exciting and daunting. At Farmhouse Realty, we understand your unique needs and are dedicated to guiding you through the process with ease. With our extensive knowledge of DeKalb County and its surrounding areas, we can help you find your dream home or sell your existing property at the best possible price. Farmhouse Realty is committed to understanding your financial situation and goals, finding the perfect home that aligns with your lifestyle, negotiating the best terms for your purchase or sale, and being there for you every step of the way. Give us a call today at 615-597-FARM. That's 615-597-3276, or check out our listings at farmhouserealty.org. Farmhouse Realty. Let us help you achieve your real estate dreams.
There's nothing like homegrown. Around here, nothing grows better than local businesses and families. It's because starting on common ground makes things just shoot up. Just look at those neighborhoods and business districts. Around here, it's always growing season.
At First Bank, we share your hometown and your love for our community. That means you get down-to-earth local lenders who get down to business faster. First Bank. Bank local, get more. Member FDIC.
Prompt, professional, and courteous healthcare services. That's what you find when you visit Good Health Family Clinic, 414 East Broad Street in Smithville. When you're on the go, you can't afford to be sick. The staff at Good Health Family Clinic is committed to getting you back on your feet and feeling better as soon as possible. They are locally owned, so you know you're being helped by people from right here at home, who you know and trust. Good Health Family Clinic accepts most insurances and is currently accepting new patients. Call to schedule an appointment, 615-597-4432. Good Health Family Clinic. Your family's good health is our mission.
Smithville's brand new hair experience is the Hairloom, located at 107 West Main Street, in the heart of downtown. At the Hairloom, we believe that every client deserves exceptional service and personalized care. Whether you're looking for a fresh cut, a stunning color, or a rejuvenating facial, our experienced team of licensed barbers, cosmetologists, and estheticians is here to make your vision a reality. Step into our relaxing and friendly environment where you can unwind while we pamper you. Your comfort and satisfaction are our top priorities. Give us a call at 615-417-1081 or book your appointment online at thehairloom.com. Experience the hair journey you've been waiting for at the Hairloom, where your beauty blooms.
Impact Physical Therapy is a direct access, cash pay physical therapy clinic, which means your care is provided one-on-one by a doctor of physical therapy, tailored to you and your needs. Whether it be injury, performance, or generalized health improvements, a plan is developed to improve your overall health, mobility, and strength safely and without injury. Another benefit of direct access is if injury does occur, you can immediately seek out care for an evaluation and treatment, potentially that day or the next day, without having to wait for a doctor appointment. Impact Physical Therapy, located at 656 West Broad Street in Smithville, inside Vitality Fit. For an appointment, call or text 615-464-7479.
Do you ever get tired of long waits at the corporate pharmacy? Well, let me introduce you to your hometown hero, Johnny's Drugs, located at 516 West Main Street in Smithville. Johnny's Drugs is all about friendly service and efficiency. Our team knows your name and understands your needs because we're not just a pharmacy, we're your neighbors. Experience the warm, welcoming atmosphere that only a hometown pharmacy can provide. Johnny's Drugs, where friendly faces and efficient hometown service come together.
When you've been in business for over a quarter century, you know you're doing something right. And they've been doing things right at Kilgore's Restaurant since 1997. When you ask people around town about the best place to eat, you can bet the name Kilgore's will be mentioned. From their amazing chicken to juicy steaks, fresh fish, succulent shrimp, hearty burgers, or flavorful pork chops, Kilgore's has something for everyone. Don't forget their hot bar at lunchtime, Mondays through Fridays, then bring the family back for dinner. They are open from 10 until 9 Mondays through Thursdays and 10 until 10 on Fridays. If you're on the go, you can phone in your order at 615-215-8249, then pick it up at their convenient drive-through window. Come on down to Kilgore's Restaurant, where every meal feels like home.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding comfort in the time of sudden loss, we're here to support you every step of the way. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Ranger brake offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world-sourced brake lines so that they can meet all levels of market demand. That helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the USA. By providing qualified products that are tested in the USA, Ranger Brake is doing their part to keep it safe out on the roads. Ranger Brake, proud supporters of all DeKalb County athletics.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Want a mower that's tough enough to break all the rules? Want everything without sacrificing anything? Want performance for the long haul at an unbeatable value? The perfect balance of power and performance? You want a bad boy mower. Packed with power, muscle, simplicity, and comfort, the pro and you demands. It's your time. You deserve a bad boy. Bad boy mowers. Mow with an attitude. Find your big boy mower at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Tigers, Bulldogs.
All right, we're back on DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance. Part of the hiccups. This is the first time, of course, going virtual, but our producer, of course, Daniel Leslie, does a fantastic job and has got everything put together for us this morning. We got our first guest on by way of virtuality, DeKalb West Lady Bulldogs coach Rayanna Chapman. Coach, good to have you. And I know, I was telling them before we got you on the air how excited you were. I could even tell when the text you sent me the other night with the stats about that first win of the season. What was it like getting that win, and how were the girls reacting to it?
We were excited. The locker room, they came in screaming and hooping and hollering. I've always told them, like, keep it calm on the floor. When you get in the locker room, you can have a party or whatever, but let's keep it calm out here until we get in there. And that's what they did. They were kind of giddy getting to the locker room, and then they started screaming and beating on the lockers. They were excited.
Coach, I know it's been a trying season, and you've had a lot of young players. The one thing I want to talk about is especially your 5th graders that have gotten a lot of action this year. Talk about the kind of growth that you've seen in that group. What areas have maybe you've seen the most growth among that young group? And, of course, leading up to that victory, that's got to really cap it off for that young group.
Right. So I've got one that has started most of the season, a 5th grader that started most of the season. Some of my 6th graders have to try to help get the ball down the floor. The main thing is, like, Katie Joe's scoring points. She's a 5th grader. She's scoring points almost every ball game. I mean, it may be 2, 3, 4. It may be some free throws, but she's getting in there. She's a good defensive hand. She likes to get in there and cause chaos. And Eden Donnell's been coming in off the bench. And then we played a complete JV game where I didn't play any of my varsity. And we got beat against Forks River on Tuesday, but just seeing the growth of being able to get the ball down the floor, handling a little bit of pressure, being able to score, coming from what I saw in September, it's a complete 180.
Coach, you only have a couple of 8th graders, and I know Kaylee had a big game with 15 points against Tennessee Heat. What did it mean for that group to get that first win this season, this being their last go-round with the Lady Bulldogs?
She was excited. So Grandma pays her $1 for every point she gets. So she was coming over right after the game. She was coming over, go get the book. I got to see how many points I had. And so me and her were sitting there counting it up, looking at the book, and we were real proud of her. She pulled some threes, and she was able to get in there and draw some fouls, get some free throws. She was able to drive the ball. She's pretty quick, so she was able to ball down the floor pretty well against that team.
How did what changed? What was the one thing that changed for you on Monday night to help you get over the hump of the win?
I would really say we were able to get in there and rebound. Kaylee's confidence really helped get us through there. She was finally. There's times I have to tell her, just shoot the ball, just drive. They can't keep up with you. Just go, or they're going to foul you if they can keep up with you. And that was the big thing, was just getting Kaylee more involved and getting her confidence built back up.
Although I know we have one more game. Who knows when we're going to play it? Hopefully, we'll get to play it Monday. I know you had played. This will be the third time you've played Tucker's. What is your game plan to come out with your second win?
Hey, she's on the show. It's a good sign.
Really, we can't go live with this. That question.
We beat them in the preseason. We did beat them in the preseason. So I told the girls come out that second time we played them like whooped pups, because, I mean, we've been beat so many times at this point. And I told them, I said, the confidence we had on Monday night, we already started talking about it. The confidence we had on Monday night, we've got to go in there next Monday with and be ready. I tell them, we got to be ready to throw hands. And then I have to go, not literally, but we have to be ready to come out.
I think maybe literally, that would be awesome.
I've got some girls that I got to pull back in, like, all right, we got to calm down.
Rayanna, the attitude of the girls through a season that's been very difficult for them, how have you been able to maintain their positiveness throughout the season?
The girls are a really close-knit group. They hang out outside of school. We have 2 classes per grade, 5th grade through 8th grade. So they're with each other all the time. They help pull each other up. The 8th graders really help pull each other up. They get upset and they're like, hey, let's go. We're good. We're good. The girls are really there for each other. That's what I have to say. That they're a really close-knit bunch all the way from 5th grade to 8th grade.
It really sounds like the effort has been there from day one, game one, up until the victory that you just had. And so that's a tribute to you as well as their coach.
Right. The effort has been there. The hustle's been there. And that's why I tell them I'm not coaching hustle. You're going to hustle for me, or I'm just going to sit you over here. And they know that. So they come out ready to play ball every game, even when it's ugly.
I know I had to coach them one day for you because your daughter was sick and some stuff. And they are a good group as far as they will do whatever you ask them to do. Now you
As
have
long
to
as they understand,
sometimes.
they'll do it.
Well, I told them you had left me great lesson plans, and I went, I'm not going to remember any of this because I do well to remember my own boys' stuff. So I told them, I said, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to do this until they make us stop, and then we'll figure out something else to do. And they did. They were really good about listening and doing what you asked them to do. And like you said, a couple of them, I told them, I said, if you let her get down the floor again and you're not back, I said, you're coming out. And one of the little girls I put in, she did not let a single person get past her. They're such a good group. There's growth. They've made growth this year. There's still room for growth for them.
And they're definitely athletes. They have that mindset. They've played softball for years. They do travel softball. So they've definitely got that mindset, especially that younger bunch. And they're going to get out there and hustle, and they're going to try to do what you ask as long as they understand. There's times we got to call a timeout just for me to explain what I'm – go over there. What? Go to the high post. What? And the gym echoing doesn't help that much because they're like, we can't even understand you.
No, there's a big.
Oh, no. Go, Kelly. I don't interrupt a lady.
Well, I was just gonna say that is a hard part of our gym. They remodeled it. It looks great, but you can't understand anything anyone's saying during a game.
Sometimes that's good, by the way, or at least Reed tells me that. So anyway, so y'all's bunch down there is a lot like ours up here. The girls have played multiple sports together for a long time. How much do you think that actually helps, even in softball, them playing together and knowing each other? Do you think that helps, like, especially towards the end of the season, you build on that confidence of familiarity and knowing each other, and then being able to use that to maybe pull out another win this season.
Oh, absolutely. It helps because they kind of can anticipate the other one's next move. So they're like, okay, they're about to do this. So I need to get here to be the kick out. And it helps a lot with them knowing, all right, well, like I said, they're getting down. Let me go pick them up because they're so close. They've played a lot of sports together. They all play softball together. They've played junior pro up here in Smithville together. It sounds like most of my team was on a team together last year for junior pro in Smithville. So I think that has helped a lot because they can anticipate each other's next move. And that was kind of how me and my older cousin played backyard basketball together all the time. And we're still that way when we go play ball. We know what the next move is. And that's the big thing, is being able to know where to go to help them if they get in trouble.
I think that the biggest question all of us has is, how in the world do you share a gym with Kelly all the time?
Because I'm not there.
Well, she gets too on her. Just come up here. We'll find a gym for you.
She's on her bus route. We have the gym till 4, and then the boys have it 4 to 5 or whatever it is.
Oh, well, that's why she's running that bus. You're behind. You're secretly behind that, I'm sure. So
keep her out of there.
Rayanna, looking towards next season, I know you're still here, but 8th graders that you have that you're going to be losing, and I know it's a young team, so perhaps the outlook is better next year than what you had this year?
We're losing our ball handler. We're losing our big post player. I just keep telling the girls we've got to step up. I've got a couple girls that we've been working on ball handling with. A couple of them go to Katie Farrell for lessons on ball handling. So I'm hoping that some of them can step up to help get the ball down the floor. Losing Kaylee and Caitlin's a lot. We have, if we have the same bunch that we have come back, I'll only have 1 8th grader next year. And this is only her 2nd year playing ball. So she's young too.
You lose your height. But the good thing about girls is they usually will hit a growth spurt before the boys. So I know, like last year, the girls were all bigger than the boys as far as height. So hopefully those 5th and 6th graders will hit a growth spurt this winter or this spring.
Hopefully. I'm going to tell them eat lots of peanut butter. Eat lots of protein.
Tom, can you hear us now?
We can't hear
I don't know that Tom can hear anything right now. He is living in silent bliss. Rayanna, you brought up Katie. It'd be neat to hear, how is she doing? She's off playing now. Give us an update.
So back in, was it December, Kelly? Something like that. November.
December 1st of November, or end of November, 1st of December, I think.
She tore her ACL, MCL, lateral, and medial meniscus, and fractured her femur.
Oh my goodness!
So she had surgery.
That's her rehab.
She had surgery like the 18th of December, and the very next day they had her in physical therapy trying to bend it. They took part of her hamstring to replace the ACL, and they put a couple pins in for her femur. She's back at school. She's traveling with the team. She's worked in the training room a lot, so she's able to help tape and kind of be a trainer while she's there. And the coaches had her come in and help coach some JV practices. But she's recovering, bless her heart. She got pretty beat down.
Is she planning on trying to come back from this?
Well, technically she graduates in May. As long as she doesn't declare a master, she can still play next year. She still has eligibility. And I think she got hurt early enough this year that she would have another year of eligibility. So I'm not real sure what her plans are. I don't know that she knows what her plans are at this point, because I think they told her it's pretty much an 8-month to 12-month rehab. So we don't know yet.
There is no way that she is about to graduate. There's no way I'm that old. There's no way. But she needs to reach out to Diego Pavia because he's got it figured out. She might get another year or two out of this and make some money out of it.
And that's what she's talking about, staying next year and working towards, because she had mentioned going to OT school down in Chattanooga. So she needs a few more prereq classes. So she talked about staying and doing those. But I don't know. She's so wishy-washy now. Mentally, this was hard.
Well, our prayers are all with her. That's awful.
Rayanna, after Tucker's Crossroads, you have nothing planned, nothing scheduled?
Nope, we have banquet. I know Coach Jason is wanting to get some of my girls together and do a summer league with them. Maybe do a little travel AAU with the younger bunch. That's what I'm going to be doing with my son. So he's going to take over the girls for me for a little bit.
So you talked about the girls doing travel ball. Are they on like separate teams, or?
I think he's wanting to get them together and travel with them. Some the 5th and 6th grade group. Get one team together and take off.
I think that'd be a tremendous help for you and your staff.
Absolutely.
As well as your program. Guys, if we don't have anything else for Rayanna, we really appreciate you being on and joining us this morning. I know it's been a difficult season, but you've got a great bunch of girls and you've done a great job with them. Again, we've talked about, getting the win. You still have Tucker Crossroads left Monday, January 13th, 8 p.m. If you can, get out there and watch the Lady Bulldogs as they do that. And Rayanna, again, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. And it was good to see y'all.
Thank you. All righty, we're going to take us a little break. Daniel's got some things he needs to do, and we'll be back coming up real soon. I'm not sure about Coach Patterson. We'll just check in on that, but make sure that you join us when we come back. Get your questions in. We're going to try and have that Q&A towards the end of our show since we're a little lacking on guests. Thank you. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium isn't one of them. Avoid rate increases with Erie Rate Lock. Even if you have a claim, your rates won't go up until you change a car, driver, or address.
Your Erie agent is DeKalb County Insurance. Get a quote today at DeKalbInsurance.net.
Erie Rate Lock is not available in all states. Other conditions and limitations at ErieInsurance.com. Go to ErieInsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
As first-time home buyers, navigating the real estate market can be both exciting and daunting. At Farmhouse Realty, we understand your unique needs and are dedicated to guiding you through the process with ease. With our extensive knowledge of DeKalb County and its surrounding areas, we can help you find your dream home or sell your existing property at the best possible price. Farmhouse Realty is committed to understanding your financial situation and goals, finding the perfect home that aligns with your lifestyle, negotiating the best terms for your purchase or sale, and being there for you every step of the way. Give us a call today at 615-597-FARM. That's 615-597-3276, or check out our listings at farmhouserealty.org. Farmhouse Realty. Let us help you achieve your real estate dreams.
Hey, Sam.
Who said that? Cheryl? What are you doing up there?
My bank always leaves me up in the air. I'm still waiting for an answer. Oh, darn birds.
Well, switch to First Bank. They have fast local decision makers and the latest banking products and digital.
Whew, what a relief. I'll call First Bank. When I was up there, I saw a branch near me.
First Bank never leaves you hanging. Bank local. Get more. Member FDIC.
Prompt, professional, and courteous healthcare services. That's what you find when you visit Good Health Family Clinic, 414 East Broad Street in Smithville. When you're on the go, you can't afford to be sick. The staff at Good Health Family Clinic is committed to getting you back on your feet and feeling better as soon as possible. They are locally owned, so you know you're being helped by people from right here at home, who you know and trust. Good Health Family Clinic accepts most insurances and is currently accepting new patients. Call to schedule an appointment, 615-597-4432. Good Health Family Clinic. Your family's good health is our mission.
Smithville's brand new hair experience is the Hairloom, located at 107 West Main Street, in the heart of downtown. At the Hairloom, we believe that every client deserves exceptional service and personalized care. Whether you're looking for a fresh cut, a stunning color, or a rejuvenating facial, our experienced team of licensed barbers, cosmetologists, and estheticians is here to make your vision a reality. Step into our relaxing and friendly environment where you can unwind while we pamper you. Your comfort and satisfaction are our top priorities. Give us a call at 615-417-1081 or book your appointment online at thehairloom.com. Experience the hair journey you've been waiting for at the Hairloom, where your beauty blooms.
Impact Physical Therapy is a direct access, cash pay physical therapy clinic, which means your care is provided one-on-one by a doctor of physical therapy, tailored to you and your needs. Whether it be injury, performance, or generalized health improvements, a plan is developed to improve your overall health, mobility, and strength safely and without injury. Another benefit of direct access is if injury does occur, you can immediately seek out care for an evaluation and treatment, potentially that day or the next day, without having to wait for a doctor appointment. Impact Physical Therapy, located at 656 West Broad Street in Smithville, inside Vitality Fit. For an appointment, call or text 615-464-7479.
Need your medications? Johnny's Drugs has got you covered. At Johnny's Drugs, we make sure you get the prescriptions you need when you need them. No more waiting around like you do at those corporate pharmacies. Johnny's Drugs is all about friendly service and efficiency. Whether it's a quick refill or some advice on over-the-counter remedies, our knowledgeable staff is here to help you feel your best. Experience the warm, welcoming atmosphere that only a hometown pharmacy can provide. Johnny's Drugs, located at 516 West Main Street in Smithville, where friendly faces and efficient hometown service come together.
Kilgore's Restaurant, where great home cooking has been their passion since 1997. If you're looking for a delicious lunch, the hot bar at Kilgore's is served up daily with plenty of home-cooked choices. Tender meats paired with 2 or 3 of their signature sides, all served up hot and fresh. If you're in a hurry, call 615-215-8249 to place your to-go order. Hey, don't forget, Kilgore's isn't just about lunch. They are also open for dinner Monday through Friday. Kilgore's also offers catering for your special events. Come on down to Kilgore's Restaurant, where every meal feels like home. Open Monday through Thursday from 10 until 9, Friday from 10 until 10.
Just like the excitement of the big game, life is filled with unforgettable moments. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that when the final moment comes, you want to honor those moments with dignity and care. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding solace in a time of grief, our compassionate staff is here to provide the support you need. Trust Love Cantrell Funeral Home to guide you through with respect and professionalism. Love Cantrell Funeral Home is a proud sponsor of DeKalb County Athletics through 3 generations. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Ranger brake offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world-sourced brake lines so that they can meet all levels of market demand. That helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the USA. By providing qualified products that are tested in the USA, Ranger Brake is doing their part to keep it safe out on the roads. Ranger Brake, proud supporters of all DeKalb County athletics.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
When it's time to attack those outdoor landscaping projects, you want to go into battle with the tools that will help you get the job done right the first time. After all, your time is precious. When you're ready to go on the offensive, let Southern Landscape Supply get you armed with the best landscaping tools on the market. Southern Landscape Supply is the home of Bad Boy mowers, tractors, UTVs, and handheld tools. Bad Boy, with their legendary reputation for strength, performance, and value. Hustler mowers, DeWalt, Red Max, and Echo handheld power tools, specialty turf equipment, and more. Plus, they offer the best parts and second-to-none customer service. Ready to attack your landscaping project? Prepare yourself with the best tools at the best value. Visit Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville, or online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Well, Chris, I think you're muted, brother.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, I hit something. Welcome back to the DC Blitz. Kelly, Casey, Tom is on, not the Blitz, but he's having some technical difficulties. So far,
Tom's on Mars, I think.
He's on what?
Hey,
he's on Mars, I think.
Evidently tonight, Mars and the moon and the Earth all align or something. I don't know. I saw it on YouTube.
I told y'all when Reed started hitting those free throws, crazy stuff starts happening. Y'all laughed at me. Now you know.
We finished up with Rayanna and talking about the Lady Bulldogs being finished. Is that Tom coming in?
What's that?
Are you back?
Oh,
welcome back.
Hello. Well, hey, it's good to be back. Sorry, I wasn't like speaking Chinese in one of those old movies or anything. So, all right, a great segment. Y'all did a fine job. I missed about 2/3 of it. So, but we did open things up. I know with just one guest this morning. We of course we talk about all day long, but I wanted to open up for viewer questions. And if you're watching us on Facebook, then jump on there and just submit a question, and we will do our best to answer. We've got one, and so we'll start there. And high school basketball and football teams, what do you all see good and bad about next year's upcoming bunch of boys and girls teams? So I guess what we'll address to start with is going to be that 8th grade bunch that, we've talked so much about that will be coming up next year. Casey, I'll kind of start off with you because I know you got a lot of familiarity, both football-wise and basketball-wise. What do you see from that bunch? What do you like best about them? And maybe what's going to be some strong areas? Of course, being freshmen, it's going to take them some time. They're going to have to get in the weight room. They're going to have to obviously get stronger. They're going to have to learn things. The speed of the game is going to be a lot different. But on the whole, and maybe over the course of 4 years, what do you think this team's going to be able, these young student athletes are going to be able to bring to both the field and the court?
Well, especially in football, you never know what's going to happen from year to year. But if history holds itself, you can project out a line, from especially that football team winning that championship this year, and especially in the fashion that they did. Hey, Kelly knows this as well as I do. West school and middle school 8th graders are special, especially both boys and girls. Obviously, in football, we're just talking about boys, but there's a lot of really, really good athletes next that's coming up. I really believe on the high school football team. Of course, you'll go through spring practice and summer practices and things like that before anything will be totally decided. But don't be surprised if Jesse Fouch is not your starting quarterback for the high school football team this year. To me, it's probably between him and John Travis Hendricks. But I don't know that you can take the experience that John has at the wideout position and not have that out there for your younger quarterback. I feel like that's probably the way that if you were to hold a gun to Steve's head right now, he would probably lean that Jesse's going to be your starting quarterback, and John Travis will remain at the wideout. You know, they did some things in the past where they've swapped some people around and had them run the Wildcat and things like that. May see some of that. You've got some good athletes on that team that's were sophomores or freshmen this year and sophomores last year or this year as well, and juniors that are kind of hidden gems, I think. Cecil Ketchum, you know, we could talk about him. There ain't a better running back around than Cecil, and he showed what he could do last year as a sophomore. You know, when he gets a chance to really be that feature back, I really think that teams are going to have to plan for him. And then you have other folks in there as well. You know, Tucker Webb showed up a lot this year, especially on defense. I could see him definitely making an impact. It's in the middle linebacking crew there in defense probably is where he'll land. Robin's kid, JT, is a really good athlete. He was a freshman last year and didn't get to play a whole lot, so a lot of people don't know about him. But when he was in middle school, he was a baller. And those guys are all going to have their opportunities this year. The freshman class that will be coming in this year is they've got some athletes, and really that's probably how they're going to help the team more than anything this year, is just by challenging those older kids on that team for their position. You've got people like, you know, Levi Cripps is a outstanding wide receiver. He's an outstanding defensive back. He's going to come in there and have an opportunity to show what he's got. Then you've got Colin Donnell. I don't, you know, who knows if he'll end up being the quarterback when it's time. Right now, you would have to think that he's next in line after Jesse, but who knows about that? Colin's just a really tough kid, and he may come in there and get in the backfield some. He may contribute on defense. You know, you've got William Soto that's coming in. That kid was the hero of the Saints championship team, in my opinion. He's the guy that really sealed the victory for him. And that kid got better and better and better and better as the season went along. And he was kind of the unsung hero, I thought, especially on defense last year. And then, you know, Reed will come in at some point and maybe make a contribution somewhere, maybe on defense. I look for some type of for us to be able to see the freshmen start out in the special teams area. I could see a couple of them getting some action there, but don't be real surprised if before the end of the season you don't see those guys starting somewhere on one side of the ball. Probably defense is where they'll make their biggest contribution if they get to that, but I definitely could see them being a big part of the special teams next year. And basketball.
In terms of, I was going to get to the basketball.
I think football and basketball with those West School and the middle school 8th graders, I'm hoping that they will be able to play 3 sports, some of them, but I feel like I just have a crazy feeling that some of them are going to choose one or the other. And basketball or football is one's going to lose out. And I don't think it's because they love all 3 sports. I think the time and the commitment
and I think they may weigh out their options on if they're getting to.
And sometimes putting in all that work's not worth it if you're just standing on the sidelines. Like I said, these are great kids, but they've spent the past 2 years getting to play. And if Casey's prediction's right, they'll be fine. But if they go half a year, they go the whole season and they don't get any playing time, I can see some of them by their sophomore year saying, okay, I'm going to focus on this sport or I'm going to focus on this sport. because I get to play. And I hate that because that's not always a coaching thing. That's always a kid thing. But it's the reality of things.
Let me throw this out there too, though. I want to ask about baseball, because from what I understand, there are a lot of good baseball players in this group. And to kind of piggyback on what Kelly's saying, I don't know that they're going to play 3 sports. So how is baseball going to factor in?
Well, Kelly knows this as well as I do. Baseball is their first love of all 3 of the sports. I feel like that baseball is safe. Probably football is safe, and at least on the middle school side, basketball is the one that I worry about as far as who's going to come up and play there. I know I've talked to Reed about that quite a bit, and I don't know. I don't know. What Kelly said a while ago is exactly right, and what about them not being able to play immediately and them getting turned off on that, she is exactly right about that. This bunch, West School and middle school, that 8th grade bunch is the most competitive bunch of kids I have ever been around, and they demand satisfaction. I don't know how else to tell you. They go in and they expect that they're going to play, and so the high school coaches, especially Coach Trapp, Coach Agee, and Tad,
Coach Webb,
it's going to be a lot of their number one objective, I think, is going to be to keep those kids feeling like they're somewhat involved. Hey, listen, they're just freshmen. They got to pay their dues just like everybody else, and that's a hard fact of life that you've got to learn. You may have a ton of talent, but all things held equal, if you've got a ton of talent, and it's even if you're very good, but you're on par with, say, a junior or senior upperclassman, that upperclassman's going to play because they put in the time to do that, as they should. But baseball, Kelly and I could talk about baseball all day long. That is the sport of all 3. I feel like they're going to do the best in. Football, they had a lot of success in that. This is what should scare other counties, okay? Those kids didn't all take up football until really 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, they played off and on. They played with each other, played some in junior pro, but it wasn't like it was their real, true love until 2 or 3 years ago. And they come together and had a championship team built out of that short amount of time. Baseball is a different story. They've been playing since T-ball together at some form or fashion, and those kids know everything there is about each other. They know what to anticipate. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses and where they're going to be and what they're going to do more than likely. And there is a ton of baseball talent on that team this year. I actually got to talk to Coach Norris a little bit earlier in the week. And, I told him, I said, your biggest challenge is just going to be reining everybody in because they're ready to roll. They expect to roll, and come, I guess probably sometime this month when they have the district meetings that they always have. If that West School baseball team isn't ranked as the team to win the district, there is some serious idiocy going on.
I'm fine with that. Be the underdog. We play really well as the underdog, but and y'all have to take into consideration we're going into a new district, which is going to be it's going to be good in some ways. Football, I know, doesn't matter, but basketball and baseball, they're going to have a fairly competitive district. The only thing that I say, sorry, and I say this because it's a new rule that just came out, TWSLA is going to allow you to transfer one time.
Yeah.
And that's going to put the screws to some of these coaches. And I hate to say that. But if you've got talented kids, if you've got a junior and you've got a freshman and they're at the same ability, you better be playing the freshman because you're going to lose them. And that
Yeah.
junior you're going to lose in a year anyways. But if you sit there and that kid knows that they're better, I'm not saying their parent knows they're better. If you sit there and you know that that kid's better and you don't play them, you are running a high risk of losing them, either to just not playing or transferring, because we're sitting around, I mean, we're surrounded by 6 counties, and you can go to, most of those boys could go to Smith County, or they could go to, I don't know about Putnam County too much, probably go to White County and play.
Gordonsville, Watertown, and Watertown
Yes.
are a couple of course, Watertown's been getting the benefit of a lot of Wilson County, but Gordonsville, especially if you're Liberty, Alexandria, down way, and you're not playing in Smithville, go to Gordonsville. You may have a better opportunity.
I'm closer to Watertown and Gordonsville than I am to Smithville.
Is this going to end up being the high school equivalent of the transfer portal?
Yes.
Hey, listen, if those kids are going to start getting phone calls, especially in all 3 sports, but especially in football and baseball, especially baseball. I don't know how big the deal is going to end up being with that one-time transfer, but I'm telling you right now, listen, I'll be biased all you want to be, but Kelly and I have been around these kids since they was in diapers, okay, all of them. And there ain't a bunch of kids on the baseball side are in this area that they can't beat on any day, and have beaten many times throughout. So we're not the only ones that see that. And so it's really, what a weird world we live in, that we could be talking about an 8th grade kid possibly, transferring out to, or getting phone calls to, come somewhere else and play. It's crazy.
Well,
Hey,
let's not
Steve,
forget
this is-
what. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, this isn't anything new, and we can talk about NIL deal, reaching down to high school and this new NCAA rule, but this has been going on. When I first got to DeKalb, our Lady Tigers teams were really, really bad, and our high school was losing girls to other neighboring schools because of this phone call. And so these coaches were getting around the loopholes, and they were going on. So it's been taking place. It's going to continue to take place, maybe on a larger scale. Going back to football, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, I think, offensively and defensively for our Saints boys to step up and play. But the adage comes to mind that for every freshman you play, you're going to lose a football game. That's just out there. We can talk about the difference between a 6th grader and an 8th grader on a basketball court or a football field, but let's look at a 15-year-old compared to an 18-year-old. It's not just that, but we can transfer this to Nico and UT and how Coach Heupel had to dummy things down, admittingly beginning with the Oklahoma game and progressing throughout the season with Nico. Not that he's not a 6'6", 5-star phenomenal athlete. It's because of the lack of knowledge in the system and being able to do what Coach Trapp is going to expect the freshman quarterbacks or there's receivers and players to be able to do. Physically, they're going to have to get into a weight room. And yes, I dealt with the same thing back when I was a coach. You had these kids coming up that they don't want to sit. You're exactly right. But in football, if they don't sit, they're not in the weight room. They're not getting stronger. They're not around the program. They're not learning the Tiger Pride morals and all of that. They're not getting into the system, and they're not getting bigger, better, stronger, and in position for that next man up mode. Basketball-wise transition there, I think it's going to be tough for them because you're looking at an extremely large boys side anyway of 9th graders on this team. There are like 10 or 12 9th graders on this Tigers basketball team right now that may be the best set of athletes to come through for a while as far as basketball is concerned as a group. Yeah. I can't wait to see what they're going to do over the next 2 or 3 years. Do I expect all 12 of them to stay? Absolutely not, because again, you're looking into the playing time. But I mean, that's just one grade level above this 8th grade group. I think that's going to make it difficult. Baseball, we've heard Daniel talk earlier about how it seems to be on a upwards trend with the Tigers. But I agree with you, Casey. This bunch of eighth grade boys, at least, is a group that is grounded in baseball first. And I think that's where they're going to have their best opportunity to really make a statement at a very young age. Football, I think it goes back to, like you said, the role of scout team and preparing the older kids the opportunity to get better with a really good scout team opponent. Again, your football season doesn't go the way you expect it to. I'm not going to play a junior over an equally talented freshman. I'm going to get that freshman as many young reps as I can if it's not going to have a bearing on the outcome of my season. I'll shut up.
And I feel like like Coach Heupel, too many of our coaches, and I'm not talking about our high school coaches, I'm talking about surrounding. They have this, I'm going to run this offense, I'm going to run this defense. And it's just like Coach Randolph and I were talking about, they've had to implement a zone. And I said, that's what you need to play. You don't have the physical kids. You need to adjust every year at West School. Every year. I have to wait till football season's over most of the time. I have to wait till I have them in practice for 2 weeks to figure out what kind of offense, what kind of defense. We started the season running one defense. We were getting killed on the boards. It was the best defense for us. We're getting killed on the boards, so I've had to change my defense mid-year. These coaches are going to have to change to what they have, but excuse me, JV games. And you actually play JV players, not JV games and you're playing juniors. That's not what JV's for. That's not JV. You don't play. And if they started in a game, I'm sorry, they probably don't need to play in a JV game. Unless it's like you started them as a pitcher and you need them to play first base. I can kind of, or, some things like that. But if you'll play your JV games, if these coaches will go out and schedule, and it's expensive to play JV games. But if they will go out and they will play JV games and they will keep these freshmen and sophomores involved and give them those playing times, they'll keep their kids. But if they play JV games and they're playing juniors and seniors that they can't play in varsity games, which why are they on the team? But if they'll do that, they'll keep their kids. They're just going to have to be very creative about how they're scheduling their games and giving kids opportunities that may be able to come in and play.
Kelly, you're exactly right. And Chris, I appreciate you bringing that freshman bunch up too, because here's the thing about that. The one thing that gives me comfort is that really that ninth grade, that eighth grade, and really the seventh grade bunch is the bunch that's been together for a long time, and they play for each other. That is the key, I believe, is that might keep our players together as much as anything, is that camaraderie that they have. They know each other, they like each other, and they play for each other. And that, when you have that special little, attribute there, sometimes it can override a lot of other things. I talked to Reed about this a lot. Sometimes you do things for your county. You play for your county, and that's kind of what that bunch has been in. Now, that freshman bunch this year, that ninth grade bunch, let me tell you something. We talk a lot about that eighth grade bunch. That ninth grade bunch is right there with them. I'm telling you, you're going to see that, especially in basketball. That bunch is talented. You've got Porter Hancock, Elliott Barnes, all of those, Anthony Moore, all of those kids are going to contribute earlier than you would think, especially in baseball and basketball.
Well, I feel like they.
Go ahead, Kelly. Go ahead.
I feel like they're going to be the basketball group where the eighth grade is. And I'm not saying they can't play baseball, because Porter's an excellent catcher. And we don't have anybody in that eighth grade that can physically match up to him. But what I'm saying is that ninth grade group is more of a basketball group. They're a basketball driven group.
Yep.
More than they are football and baseball. I still say they're more basketball driven than they are baseball driven.
They are.
And the only reason I say that is because they've, like, this 8th grade bunch, they've played all this travel ball together, baseball, not basketball. The 9th grade bunch, they play a ton of basketball together. And I can see that 9th grade bunch definitely outshining in basketball, and their physicality. They're bigger. I mean, you talked about Porter, and there's Drew Cook, who I know he's a freshman. He's not getting a ton of playing time, but he's a big kid. And, you know, let's face it, Dallas was about 6'5" when he left the high school, and I feel like Drew will grow too. And then, like you said, Elliott and the Moore kid. You've also got Chase Young is sitting. He's a sophomore now, but that group all plays basketball together, and they play a ton of it. Where I feel like the 8th grade bunch plays more baseball, and that's kind of it's just their niche. It's just what they enjoy doing.
You're exactly right. The only outlier in it that helps in baseball is one kid that does not play basketball that does play baseball, Preston Taylor. He is a difference maker on the diamond out there.
All right. Certainly it's going to be interesting next few years to see how everything plays out. I'm, Coach, I know you are. We're a little old school. We probably all are, to be honest. And I'm not such a big fan of transfer this and do that, but it's the world we're coming to. And one thing that affects, and you all know this, affects these kids' mindsets. Of course, they're kids, and the parents' mindsets is what's going to matter more than anything. But these kids see what's going on TV. They see these transfer portals, these deals. It's not about sitting and waiting your opportunity anymore. It's about how quick can I get out there and get on the court or on the field. And they see it on TV. It's just like basketball. The NBA has turned into chucking threes, and, back in Michael Jordan's day, everybody wanted to fly, everybody wanted to dunk. Now it's a three-point shot. So these kids see this, and they get in this mindset. So it's not about the hard work anymore. It's about what can you do for me and how soon can you do it for me? And I'm afraid with this, especially this one-time transfer rule, and again, the parents are going to have a huge impact on this themselves, but for the kids themselves, I think it's going to take away a lot of work ethic, and I don't like it. I think it's going to be very harmful to sports moving forward. And for places like DeKalb County, where, Kelly, you've said it many times, we have to share our athletes because there's just not enough of them to go around. So we have to share them in order for them, to be competitive in all sports.
Well, I feel like a lot of the transferring will be, if you transfer, you're either transferring to play or you're transferring to play for what you feel is a better coach for you.
Right.
I completely agree with what you're saying, but then I go back to 2 or 3 weeks ago when we interviewed Ty Webb, and why did he choose Maryville? He wanted to go and play. And these kids are investing, and parents are too. I mean, I'm just as invested as Maddox and Marley are, because I'm the one that has to drive them everywhere. They are investing this time in travel ball and in what they're good at. They don't want to, and I understand, they don't want to sit when you could. Why would you want to sit at this school when you could go to this other school and you're going to get to play for 4 years? I understand there's part of it. And I would have benefited from having to have to sit in high school. I got to play because there wasn't anybody else. Had some of those juniors that quit the year I came in played, it would have pushed me to be better. And I realized that. And I want that for my kids, but not everybody is the same as me, as us, where we've been around it and seen it. It's like you said, instant gratification. And I kind of see it hurting the work ethic, but I don't, because these kids, if they do transfer, they want to be good at wherever they go, and they're going to put the time in. And if you're one of those kids that's transferring because you're not getting playing time and you probably should be getting playing time, you probably already had a good work ethic anyways.
All right, let's get a break in here. I know this segment drug out a little more, but that was a great question. And Robin, I hope we somewhere along the way we answered it, because I know we went down a couple of different roads there. But a great question, and thank you for asking. And we're going to do one more segment. If we get more questions, we'll answer them. If not, we're going to look ahead to the week ahead in sports, which might be affected by the weather. We'll touch on that a little bit. And we'll wrap things up, and the last segment of the Blitz coming up. So stay with us. This is DC Blitz, and we're presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
Teamwork, accountability, honesty, showing respect, dependability. These are all qualities that I began learning as an athlete growing up in DeKalb County. Hi, this is Tennessee Assistant Golf Coach Payne Denman. Whenever you're looking for a teammate that has your back, look no farther than my friend Grant James and the team at DeKalb County Insurance. They can help out with all your business, auto, home, life, or Medicare insurance needs. Give them a call today at 615-597-0660 or visit them at www.dekalbinsurance.net. Tell them I sent you, and as always, go Vols.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
As first-time home buyers, navigating the real estate market can be both exciting and daunting. At Farmhouse Realty, we understand your unique needs and are dedicated to guiding you through the process with ease. With our extensive knowledge of DeKalb County and its surrounding areas, we can help you find your dream home or sell your existing property at the best possible price. Farmhouse Realty is committed to understanding your financial situation and goals, finding the perfect home that aligns with your lifestyle, negotiating the best terms for your purchase or sale, and being there for you every step of the way. Give us a call today at 615-597-FARM. That's 615-597-3276, or check out our listings at farmhouserealty.org. Farmhouse Realty. Let us help you achieve your real estate dreams.
Hey, Sam.
Who said that? Cheryl? What are you doing up there?
My bank always leaves me up in the air. I'm still waiting for an answer. Oh, darn birds.
Well, switch to First Bank. They have fast local decision makers and the latest banking products and digital.
Whew, what a relief. I'll call First Bank. When I was up there, I saw a branch near me.
First Bank never leaves you hanging. Bank local. Get more. Member FDIC.
Prompt, professional, and courteous healthcare services. That's what you find when you visit Good Health Family Clinic, 414 East Broad Street in Smithville. When you're on the go, you can't afford to be sick. The staff at Good Health Family Clinic is committed to getting you back on your feet and feeling better as soon as possible. They are locally owned, so you know you're being helped by people from right here at home, who you know and trust. Good Health Family Clinic accepts most insurances and is currently accepting new patients. Call to schedule an appointment, 615-597-4432. Good Health Family Clinic. Your family's good health is our mission.
Smithville's brand new hair experience is the Hairloom, located at 107 West Main Street, in the heart of downtown. At the Hairloom, we believe that every client deserves exceptional service and personalized care. Whether you're looking for a fresh cut, a stunning color, or a rejuvenating facial, our experienced team of licensed barbers, cosmetologists, and estheticians is here to make your vision a reality. Step into our relaxing and friendly environment where you can unwind while we pamper you. Your comfort and satisfaction are our top priorities. Give us a call at 615-417-1081 or book your appointment online at thehairloom.com. Experience the hair journey you've been waiting for at the Hairloom, where your beauty blooms.
Impact Physical Therapy is a direct access, cash pay physical therapy clinic, which means your care is provided one-on-one by a doctor of physical therapy, tailored to you and your needs. Whether it be injury, performance, or generalized health improvements, a plan is developed to improve your overall health, mobility, and strength safely and without injury. Another benefit of direct access is if injury does occur, you can immediately seek out care for an evaluation and treatment, potentially that day or the next day, without having to wait for a doctor appointment. Impact Physical Therapy, located at 656 West Broad Street in Smithville, inside Vitality Fit. For an appointment, call or text 615-464-7479.
Do you ever get tired of long waits at the corporate pharmacy? Well, let me introduce you to your hometown hero, Johnny's Drugs. Located at 516 West Main Street in Smithville, Johnny's Drugs is all about friendly service and efficiency. Our team knows your name and understands your needs because we're not just a pharmacy, we're your neighbors. Experience the warm, welcoming atmosphere that only a hometown pharmacy can provide. Johnny's Drugs, where friendly faces and efficient hometown service come together.
When you've been in business for over a quarter century, you know you're doing something right. And they've been doing things right at Kilgore's Restaurant since 1997. When you ask people around town about the best place to eat, you can bet the name Kilgore's will be mentioned. From their amazing chicken to juicy steaks, fresh fish, succulent shrimp, hearty burgers, or flavorful pork chops, Kilgore's has something for everyone. Don't forget their hot bar at lunchtime, Mondays through Fridays, then bring the family back for dinner. They are open from 10 until 9 Mondays through Thursdays and 10 until 10 on Fridays. If you're on the go, you can phone in your order at 615-215-8249, then pick it up at their convenient drive-through window. Come on down to Kilgore's Restaurant, where every meal feels like home.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding comfort in the time of sudden loss, we're here to support you every step of the way. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Ranger brake offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world-sourced brake lines so that they can meet all levels of market demand. That helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the USA. By providing qualified products that are tested in the USA, Ranger Brake is doing their part to keep it safe out on the roads. Ranger Brake, proud supporters of all DeKalb County athletics.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Bad Boy Mowers' legendary reputation for strength, performance, and value is now available with Bad Boy tractors. From mid-size to subcompact models powered by 22 to 35 horsepower water-cooled diesel engines, your tractor work just got real easy. On the farm, the ranch, or even around the house, Bad Boy tractors deliver power and durability all day, every day. Bad Boy tractors work with an attitude. Find your big boy tractor at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Hey, we're back on DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance for one last segment. Tom alongside Kelly, Coach, and Casey. And want to thank our viewers who've chimed in. We've got a couple other topics we'll address here in just a moment. Before we do that, I want to throw out there this week's upcoming schedule. And we'll start with DeKalb West School because, Kelly, I know you've got your season finale scheduled, regular season finale, I'll say, scheduled for Monday night against Tucker's Crossroads. And, of course, depending on the roads and all that, that game could be moved. Is the plan to, if you do have to postpone it, is the plan to go ahead and try to reschedule that? I know you've got the Best of the West coming up. We'll touch on that a little too.
Yes, it is their 8th grade night, and they have been so great to work with us over the years. Both of us have had issues come up. So the principal and I are good friends, Miss Raines, and we will accommodate them in any way so that they get to have their 8th grade night. I feel like if they're in school, Mr. Cripps will allow us to play. But I don't know. And they're not that far. It's roads that would be cleared. It would just be the kids' parents getting them there. We would not take a bus more than likely, but
sure.
Yes, we will do everything we can to accommodate that game with them. And then on Friday, the 17th, I think, the boys play at 7:45 in the James C. Hill, and we play Hillham.
Okay, and that's up in Overton County, by the way. If folks don't know, my time from working on the radio in Livingston, briefly, I got to know Hillham. Interesting name, but good luck to the Bulldogs and win that game, Kelly. I think y'all will turn around and play next Monday after that against Lobelville.
Yep.
Where's that at? I don't know where that's at.
I kind of want to think it's West Tennessee, but I'm not sure. I've heard of Lobelville before. I think I've even been there before, probably playing softball. But
Buffalo River towards West Tennessee. I think it's the other side of.
Is it in Dixon?
It's the other side of Dixon. It's beyond Dixon.
Is that Camden,
Buffalo
Waverly, Waverly area, maybe?
Yeah,
Okay.
or maybe a little bit further west than that. But yeah, I've canoed down that Buffalo River in Lobelville several times.
So have I, and I didn't realize that was Lobelville. I have a very hilarious, horrific story of canoeing the Buffalo River. We'll not discuss that today, but but we're looking forward to the best at the West coming up starting on the 17th. DeKalb Middle School, they've got games scheduled this week. White County scheduled to come to Smithville on Monday, weather permitting. Then the game, as we mentioned, with Stone Memorial scheduled to be made up on Tuesday. We will have a live web stream of those two games if everything holds up and the weather gets a little bit better by Tuesday. I think the sun's supposed to come out tomorrow, get around 40. So we're hoping that will melt away a lot of the snow and get everybody back on the roads. And the kids are saying, no, we don't. He's off, but hopefully we can get our basketball in this week. And then middle school also scheduled to wrap up their regular season Thursday against Livingston. High school, the Tigers and Lady Tigers are scheduled to travel to Crossville to play Cumberland County coming up on Tuesday night, and then they'll play Upperman at home on Friday. It's pretty much all district with the exception of a game at Warren County on Monday, January 27th. For the DeKalb County High School basketball teams. By the way, y'all, I want to throw this out there. DeKalb Youth Baseball has asked us to help promote this event, and we would love to do that. They will be having a cornhole tournament and chili cook-off coming up on Friday, January 24th. That's Friday, January 24th, starting at 5 p.m. at the DeKalb County Community Complex. Now, if you want to play cornhole, and I know a lot of people out there are very competitive when it comes to cornhole, you can register at $50 per team. We have contact information on our Facebook page, but if you're interested in getting involved in the cornhole tournament, contact Jesse Sutton at 931-881-5547 or Lewis Richards at 615-684-0751. Again, that information is on our Facebook page. And the chili cook-off, $10 to enter, and go out there and eat some good chili starting around 5 o'clock. So all the proceeds will benefit DeKalb Youth Baseball. And I know that's a couple of weeks away, but I want to go ahead and throw that out there so you can get it on your calendar for Friday, January 24th, again, the cornhole tournament and chili cook-off at the county complex with all proceeds to benefit DeKalb Youth Baseball. All right, let's get back to a couple of things from our viewers out there to kind of piggyback on what we were talking about last segment. Kim Frazier had a great comment here. Remember, some of these kids want to go play in college somewhere and to compete for positions in colleges with kids who have been getting reps at a younger age. So in order to compete, they have to go somewhere that's going to give them the reps. Chris, I know this is something you wanted to touch on a bit, and your thoughts on that.
First of all, my initial response is colleges, pros are going to find the good athletes wherever they are at whatever level. They're not going to be a secret, whether it's AAU, travel ball, whatever. They're going to find the good athletes. And quickly, I have a freshman who I've just filled out papers. He wants to transfer schools. He started as a freshman on I would say, mediocre football team. Mm-hmm. He's wanting to transfer to another school system because this particular school, in his mind, has a better sports program. Double-edged sword. He's getting to start on a mediocre program because it's mediocre. If he's going to transfer to a school that's better, He may not be starting because they're better for a reason. They have more athletes and they have people in place and in those positions. So as a starting nose tackle, he may not be the starting nose tackle or he's planning on transferring. Just kind of keep that in mind. And that's all that I had, kind of response back to Kim.
Kelly?
So I had this discussion, and I cannot remember who it was with that I had it with the other day. Diego's lawsuit is going to change college sports in more ways than one, because these colleges are going to start recruiting not out of high school, out of JUCO, because then they're going to have kids that's played 2 years of JUCO at a college level and pretty much played, and now they're going to Division I school where they get 4 years. So you're going to get 6 years out of a kid. And now I'm not saying like some of these, it's so hard to talk about it because I don't know how boys sports work. As I'm going from my experience in softball and basketball that I personally had. I would have loved to have had 2 more years. I was in the best shape of my life at 22 when or 23 when I graduated. I could have played 2 more years. That would have been awesome because I did the 2 years of JUCO and got to play a ton. And then I went to, Southern Miss, and you didn't get to play as much because of the way the schemes work and stuff like that. But I would have loved to have had 2 more years. And we were talking about this the other day. I think it was a travel ball coach that I was talking about. They're no longer going to recruit right out of high school. They're going to recruit because had you rather have an 18-year-old who, let's face it, doesn't make the best decisions because they're 18, they haven't matured, and now you're going to be able to choose the 20-year-old as a freshman. It's going to change the dynamic of college sports. Now, I don't know what NCAA will do to rectify this, but I can then tell you that's how it's going to go. They're going to recruit out of junior college. So you best be finding you the best junior college to go to where you're going to get reps and you're going to get lots of exposure.
All right. Kim said we lost the feed and didn't hear a word you said, Chris. Kim, you can go back and once we're all done and everything, it will be still on the Facebook page. You can go back there. Chris has already forgotten everything you said, so we won't go back.
I don't mind going back over, but I know that we've been lengthy already, and that's probably take another 3 or 4 minutes. And if she can go back and watch it, then that'd be great. Best thing to do.
Chris, it's icy outside. It's not like we're all going to be out doing stuff today. but yeah, your point is well taken. Let's go to the next question that we had. Mr. Tad DeMillie. Tad, thank you for watching, and thank you for submitting a question. What he says is, it sure seems to me that DeKalb basketball certainly seems to draw a disproportional number of rotten referee calls. In my opinion, there are several refs that consistently call against DeKalb, and what's our thoughts on that? We've talked about refereeing. We probably talk more about it off air than we do on air. It is a tough job. Kelly, I'm going to start with you here because you've reffed, and you know how tough the job is. I will thoroughly admit this. I mean, I believe there are referees out there that are more about themselves being the show. I've seen that over the years. There are good referees out there, and there are people struggling to get up to speed that are just starting out as referees. But you've got more insight on this by far than I do, so I want you to really kind of address this.
Okay, the first thing that I will say is anytime I refereed, I was never calling against anyone because they're kids. Now, I may not like the head coach. I may not have liked either coach. I may not like the school that I was at. But I always remembered these are kids, and whether it was a junior high game or a high school game, that was the most important game to those kids. Like it may be DeKalb West and Tucker's Crossroad. And on the scale of things, that is not a high priority game. But to those 22 kids, it's the most important game going on that night. It could care less if some NBA team was playing. That's not important to them. Their game is the most important. So as a referee, that's how I try to approach every game that I refereed. 2, referees are going to miss calls. It happens. You can see a whole lot better from the stands because you can see why. When you're standing right on top of somebody, I can't call a walk on the baseline. I don't see it because I'm not watching their feet. I'm watching everything from the hips and above because I've got to get the upper back. I've got to get the hack. I've got to get all those things. All that happens above the waist. I can't turn my head this way and referee. I have to, eyes up. So that last thing that I will say about refereeing, nobody wants to do a good job when you're told you're the dumbest person, you're the worst person. Yeah, you're probably not going to get a call if that's what everybody's yelling. 90% of the time, referees don't care about who wins the game. And if they do, usually they're pretty good about weeding them out. But if you sit there and you're told you're the worst thing, again, I said I can ignore things. No offense to you three. Men can't ignore things like that. And y'all get all tore up about it. And being told you're stupid and you miss, everybody's going to miss a call. Everybody. I mean, I watched a 30 for 30 the other night on an umpire that missed a call that cost the guy a no-hitter. It was called 29 Outs. I don't know if y'all have seen it, 29 Outs. Great documentary. The guy admitted to
Jim Joyce.
missing it. Yes, he admitted to missing it, but this guy still doesn't have his no-hitter. And, life goes on. He said, life goes on. But being told you're stupid and yelling at referees is not going to get you calls. As a coach, I rarely say anything to referees because, you know what? The referee in the same other team. So we're probably going to get the same calls. And you got to look at this. People, some of the people doing it do know basketball, and some of the people are just doing it because they make $85 a game. And, Ken Melton, who does the refereeing, I know he tries to weed that out, and he tries to put some senior officials. But when you've got 30 games going on, and that's 3 referees per game, you run out of people. They're just doing the best they can.
Kelly, your dad has chimed in, and I think when we talked to him a few weeks ago, we even touched on this a little bit. And I like what he's got to say here. Coach Danny Parker said, referees' talent level has declined and decreased because of who is going into the profession. They're not people knocking down the doors wanting to be referees. Let's just be honest. It's a thankless job.
They're begging people. And if you notice this year, they even did several camps, or not camps, like this is what you need to do to be a referee. This is how it's going to go. They did those, I know, at Watertown and DeKalb before the season started, just trying to get people interested in doing the job. But like I said, nobody really wants to go and get yelled at for an hour and a half and told that you're stupid and dumb.
Chris, I think you might have a little something you can share with us off the record. Well, on the record, off the record, by whom you were speaking with. Go ahead.
And Kelly, I'll agree with that. My first thought was the history, a rapport that a set of referees may have with a set of coaches, because I know that at DeKalb County, when I was doing PA, that it seemed like there were the same 7 or 8 officials every game, calling those games. So they built up a relationship with Linus and Fish, and now we went through Sanders, but all of our coaches, even now with AG, and all of that bit, and but that's not it. I reached out to an official friend of mine, and I kind of told him my first thoughts and wanted his reaction, and to kind of echo what Danny and Tom just said, that basketball right now is missing 2 or 3 of their top officials because of injuries or sickness or ailment, because they're getting older. You're getting a lot of the older officials that are retiring, and you're bringing in a fresh bunch. And they're not as experienced. Their skin may not be as thick, as Kelly has kind of pointed out. And so those are the reasons perhaps I don't think it's targeting DeKalb County athletics at all. The guy that I spoke with happened to say he's heard nothing bad about the DeKalb County student section that could draw the, ire of officials. He's heard nothing bad, negative about the coaches. And the rapport on that relationship with the officials. So the only thing he really throws it back to is the younger, inexperienced officials and just not being consistent.
So go ahead, Kelly.
I will say this too. As a referee, I'm speaking on that part. If you've got two good teams that can play basketball, and I'm talking about they're not double dribbling, they're not walking, they're not turning it over, they're not doing stupid stuff in the middle of the floor, like I'm grabbing somebody in the middle of the floor. It's really easy, and you have a really smooth game. When you've got a team that's maybe here and another team that's here, this team right here ends up it looks like you're calling against them sometimes because they're not as good. And I'm not saying that I'm just saying when you have matchups. And sometimes referees, if you're up here and you're down here, you don't get the call because you're already up here. You got a 20-point lead. No, you're probably not going to get an over the back call because that's just throwing gas on the fire. But sometimes it's the game. Sometimes it's hard to referee bad basketball.
Casey, you got any thoughts on this this matter? Oh, he's been loading up. I see it.
Well, I've never been a referee. I'll start with that.
And you've not played one on TV.
I didn't stay in a Holiday Inn last night. No. Oh boy. Listen. I'll play devil's advocate, I guess, okay? Yes, I think we get all of our calls called against us wrongly in all sports. Seriously, I think a lot of it probably has to do with a team's reputation. And, of course, I've watched a lot of Saints games this year. I've also paid attention and watched a lot of high school games this year. And I don't know. I've actually talked with Tad about this, Tad DeMille, who submitted this question. And, I really I don't know. I can tell you this. I'll use the Saints, for example. They started out as a football players playing basketball. There's no way else to describe it. And they were rough and rowdy and weren't fundamentally, where they should have been for the most part. And man, Reed fouled out in the first half one game. So it was just rough. And I can't help but believe that some of that is still in the referee's memory, especially there. I look at. Of course, I notice Reed, and I also notice Gavin Frazier a lot because they're the big boys down low. And, boy, some of those calls they get are very questionable. Reed especially has a way of being, well, in life in general, being too dramatic about everything. But he goes up to block a shot, and it looks like he's going to tomahawk somebody. And that is a foul. But it isn't a foul if you don't touch anybody or if you don't get anywhere near anybody. You're just basically waving to the crowd at that point. And those fouls get called a lot. And the same thing happens to Gavin there as well. And I know that the same thing happens in the high school team too, because I've seen that. So listen, I don't get tore up about it because they, honestly, they probably don't get a lot of calls called against them that they should. The kids I look at, you could questionably call 10 fouls a game on them if you wanted to. So we got to give them a little grace on that. But I'll be like Tad. Boy, it sure seems like we get our share of them, though.
I'm gonna jump in here and I'm going on 32 years of covering sports. Golly, that don't seem right. But I've seen a lot of games. I've seen terrible officiating. I've seen great officiating. I've seen games called. And I'll use basketball for an example. I've seen, and Kelly, I know you've seen this a lot, games called where they let them play and it's physical and they hardly call any fouls. I've seen games called where if you breathe on someone, they call a foul. I don't think there's necessarily bias toward any school, like Kelly was saying. Now, there may be people referees that don't like a coach, that don't take the high road like Kelly does, or don't like a school. I'm not saying it's not possible. I don't think there's a lot of it. Let me put it that way. I just don't think it's rampant. I think it can happen. Calls are always going to be missed. In real time, like you say, you're not seeing the big wide shot that us fans are watching. You're not getting to see everything going on. You usually have 2 referees out on a basketball court, sometimes 3, and they've got one little area. They're not catching everything. So it's hard in real time to do all that. I just think there are isolated incidents where I think it may be a referee don't like a coach, don't like a school, don't like the crowd because they are thin-skinned or whatever. But Chris, I'm going to come back to you on this, and because I know in a football perspective, it's a lot different than basketball. I just don't think it's rampant. I don't think there's a rampant group of officials out there that are calling against any one school because they just don't like that school.
Tom, you and I have both covered enough area sports, area schools and teams that it's not just DeKalb, and we have seen questionable calls or no calls in crucial situations in a ball game, usually at the end of a half or the end of a ball game where the game's on the line. And I really don't think there's anything intentional. I think it's just an official missed a call. Not that they didn't see it and chose not to make the call. They just missed it. And they're human, and it happens at every level. We can talk about the Tennessee Titans getting a targeting call in the end zone on a play several weeks. About half a season ago, that everybody still talks about being just a ridiculous call, and it's never been called before. So it happens at every level. I just think it's an unintentional oversight. They didn't see it. I can't call what I don't see, and we as fans take it personally. Because it happened to our team.
Yeah, exactly. We all yell at the TV when we don't like a call. We're fans. That's part of it. I do it. I'm the first to admit that I do it. I will say this. I do agree. I think 25, 30 years ago when I started out, and maybe, it was me just learning a lot about the games themselves. I feel like as a whole, the quality of officiating was a little bit better. And to piggyback on what Coach Parkerson has said, I do think, maybe that not the talent level has declined. I think the interest overall has declined, like we spoke about earlier. Just you're not getting a lot of people who want to referee. And when you have that, you don't have a lot of officials to choose from. You can't select better ones or lesser thans and all that. Kelly?
Well, I'll say this too. We were talking about this it was my daughter's junior pro game. And we were getting beat. It wasn't anything, but the 2 people refereeing, they didn't know. They know basketball. They know the game. They know the game, but like when the ball went out of bounds, they didn't blow the whistle. And I'm like, you gotta stop the play. And I had, she won't kill me for saying this. My educational assistant, who's won 4 state titles at Jackson County, I said, hey, can you referee a basketball game? She's great in PE. She could not. She's like, I knew what the call was, but she says, putting it all together, it really takes. You have to be good at refereeing. It's like playing a sport. You have to anticipate what's going to happen, but not yet call the call. You got to be knowing what to look for on a screen. And some of these people that are refereeing now, they may have played basketball, but they're not. And it's the same with football. You just may not. You're not used to looking at that. You have to be very disciplined to stay in your area and to look. But to go to what Dad was saying 20 years ago, yeah, it was better officiating because 2 reasons. There weren't as many schools. You think about how many more schools there are now. There wasn't as many schools to cover, and people respected the officials, and so they didn't.
Excellent point. Excellent.
Yeah,
point.
I love that.
And people, like I would love to referee if I didn't have kids and I could do it. I love refereeing, and I've had to referee games by myself. And I'm going to brag on myself a little bit. I got a compliment the other night refereeing. I refereed a game by myself. It was a JV game. And the guy goes, "You did better than when we have 2 officials." And I was like, but I'm seasoned. I'm sure Michelle Melton, who is a good official, she could do one by herself and do better than. Sometimes your partners get you into a lot of trouble. Sometimes when you have that one official that has no clue what's going on, you can't bail them out. Then you look like the bad official because you're calling all over the floor, but you're calling all over the floor because they don't have a clue. And sometimes people get mad about that. So, I mean, as a coach, I just don't even say anything to the referees because it's not going to do any good. I'm going to coach my kids. The other team is having to play with the same officials. If we do what we're supposed to do, the 2 officials should not make a difference.
I want to ask Tad DeMillie a question while we're here. I'm going to go back because I don't know if he still does, but I used to hear this guy grew the best strawberries in the county, and I don't know if he still does or not. But I love good strawberries, and if he does, how do we get them? So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if he still does or not. But Tad, if you do, I really want to. We're going to have to talk. We just got another comment here, and basketball is harder to officiate than probably any other sport, just because almost every aspect could be a judgment call versus a few here and there in softball, baseball, etc. Great points, Kelly. That's from Brenda Trammell. I agree. Some great points there on that topic there. Tad, great question. Thank you for asking that. We really do appreciate that. Coach Parkerson, we appreciate you chiming in as well. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have anything else before we wrap up today? Anything that y'all would like to add? Casey, we'll start with you. You've been quiet for a while, so hold on. Kelly's already got her hand up.
You can tell the teachers you can tell the teachers that have had to do these Zoom calls. We raise our hand. I will say this. Talking about refereeing, referees. They start young, and if you completely demoralize somebody in rec ball, basketball, that's usually not very good basketball anyways. And I'm talking about them knowing how to dribbles, all those things that are going on. If you completely demoralize somebody in a rec league game, they will never want to call a junior high game. And just like your kids are having to learn in rec ball, they are too. So be gracious to people. How about go up after the game and be like, "Hey, you might want to work on this. Just a pointer, just something I saw." And that is more receptive than being yelled at. Because if we don't, I hate to say this, if we don't get off of referees' backs, I know it's horrible. I think it's horrible as a coach. I go into the halftime and I tell before the game, I'm like, these referees have no idea what's going on. You're going to have to play through it. But if we will start having our kids have that mindset that they have to play through difficulties, then that also gives some grace to that refereeing. Because I was a horrible referee when I first started out. I just stuck with it because I'm an athlete. Some of these people don't do that. And if we kill them in rec ball about screaming at them and yelling at them, then we're not going to have anybody to call our junior high and high school games. I'm done.
Case, Kelly says she said, by the way, I think Kelly's got a monster locked in her closet or something. I don't know what that little sound, if it's going out over the air, but Kelly, you're probably not even hearing it, but the guys are saying it's a pig. We've been chatting here, so I'm not sure what it is.
Sorry, I don't know.
We've been laughing. We're laughing at the pig and behind your couch.
No, I got a puppy dog beside me, but
well,
there's nobody even here. Everybody left the house except for Marley.
It's just an audio glitch. We're just having fun picking at you. All right, Casey, we're turning you loose now.
That was actually just going to be my last comment was, when's the hog killing? But now I kind of think the dog just has gas.
That's a lot of gas, boy.
Did it go away now? Did it go away?
It does seem better.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I took my earbuds out, so maybe it was my earbuds.
Okay. I bet your batteries are probably dying. That may be it.
They may be.
Anyway, all right, Casey.
Sorry.
Yeah, well.
Cal is in the yard.
We'll be down for breakfast.
I got fresh sausage in the refrigerator.
Oh.
Well, that's my all-time favorite Luke quote. Can't go wrong with a pig.
All right, Casey, you got anything else as we wrap up?
I'm leaving. See y'all.
All right, Coach, what you guys? We wrap up today's show. We've had a good show today. Even doing the virtual thing has been a lot of fun, and thanks for all the audience participation. Coach, what do you want to add today?
Well, roads may be looking like they're getting clear and getting safer out there, but keep in mind about that black ice, and later on the night, you know it's going to freeze over, and just kind of be safe. Be careful out there. We want to see you with us next week.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll be back live next week. And one thing I do want to remind you, we are planning to do the DeKalb Middle Stone Memorial Game coming up on Tuesday night. I think it's a 6 o'clock start time. That's the usual start time. If not, Coach Quarles will let us know. We'll post on Facebook. But don't let that stop you from coming out to the game. Come out, support the Saints and Lady Saints, and you can go back and watch the live stream after the fact. But we will be doing the game coming up on Tuesday night, weather permitting, starting at 6 o'clock. It's been a fun show today. Thank you all for making it so. Thanks to all of our sponsors out there. Thanks to Rayanna Chapman, our guest today, our excellent producer, Daniel Leslie. Anything we throw at him, he's got an answer for and makes it work. We sure couldn't do it without him, so we appreciate him a lot. Kelly has gone dark, so I don't know if she's just gone dark or she's left us, but for Casey Midget, for Kelly, and Chad Kirby's chimed in. Enjoyed it, guys. Thank you for doing this. No, thank you all for allowing us to do this and for watching, because you really make it worthwhile. We enjoy this a whole lot. And for the Coach Chris Vance, I'm Tom Duggan for DC Blitz. We'll see you next Saturday.